Then I have reason to believe I was switched back again. And then they would, when they would switch me to the real place, they would frame me again and bring me back to that fucking base to hide me and put the fake Jason, who has the round nose and all of that shit, in the other place. And that's why they left me with all those pictures and shit, because that's the evidence that they want to dispose of, just like me, because I'm the only one that knows what really fucking happened. That evidence in those pictures would prove that that wasn't me. My parents don't even know it, but they gave birth to a brown-eyed baby. Your eye color doesn't change from blue to brown. These cults are crazy. In fact, when they were bringing in lookalikes of my son and girlfriend towards the last year, I even showed the different baby pictures. And this cult-ass bitch tried to tell me, oh, no, his eye color changed. Eye color doesn't change. You're born with it. That's it. And what they did was they hacked probably all the medical, DMV, law enforcement, all those different computer systems, removed my criminal records and removed my identity as brown hair, brown-eyed Jason, and put in dirty blonde, blue-eyed. Because I have the other guy's baby pictures. And that's why they want to get rid of them. Or no, they might need those back. Because in his baby book, it probably shows him as always having brown. Maybe I should get rid of them. Just to mess with this. Mess with them the way they mess with me. But that's what I believe they did, and how they pulled this off. And I even remember as a kid, there was a lookalike kid and saying stuff like that, like, oh, we're gonna replace you with we have a guy that looks like you, because what these cults, these sick cults, believe in is because the military has technology for mind control, where they can make you forget memories, they can implant memories, they can swap around things, and so they believe that everything is relative, including memories and people. If we don't like this guy, we could just put in this guy. Oh, let's put our kid into this family. We'll switch everything around, switch the pictures, break into the houses, switch the pictures around, switch clothing, switch this, switch that. And then, well, what do? And that's why in the real United States, I don't know, maybe my real parents moved by this point, but my real sister, Danielle Trestka, my real brother, Michael Trestka, my real mom and dad were Vanessa and Don Trestka. In the real United States, I'm your real son. I kept getting abducted by traffickers. They only kept bringing me back for key events and moments, because they had a base somewhere on some island somewhere where they were even controlling the weather. You would always see the chemtrail planes going over and stuff, that where they could control the weather and stuff like that. And they would stage the weather even. I even remember being in the hospital about a year or two ago, and they were saying, oh yeah, our weather budget is running out. Where they were staging the weather to match up with Jersey, New York City weather at the time. And I had lots of friends who were in military and as well as intelligence, and they couldn't even help me. Put it to you that way. That's how bad this got. I even remembered this past year, this girl, she was supposedly a rich, came from pretty well-off family. She heard about me because her father was in the military, to the point that she even joined the military, from what I understand, for a couple of years just to find out about me. And she came in about 3 times in the last year because she looked a lot like the other Lily lookalikes, and she tried to get me to the real place. But the problem was in the real place, things changed so much already that my own family wouldn't recognize me. Because even the last time I was in New York City, they told me, they were like, dude, you gotta stay in New York City. You don't understand. You don't understand what's going on. They are staging your rides and your home. So in other words, if my real family was at the real house still, they would stage my ride home to take me to this other place. And that's why even my days and time could be off at this point. But they would stage my rides home, I noticed. And they were right. Like, that, what that guy told me was right. He's like, dude, they're staging your rides home. Every time I had this thing, I went to the hospital, the real one once, and they were like, how's that narcolepsy going? Because they would inject me to put me to sleep and then take me wherever they needed to take me, or take me out of the hospital and bring me where they needed to bring me, and replace me with the other guy and stuff. They were running black, like the one guy said, it was like 1,000,001 black operations to pull this off. And now I believe they sold me off to traffickers right now, and I'm being held hostage, and I'm gonna being held hostage without knowing it, in a subtle form, let's just say. And I'm gonna have to fight for my fucking life. That's what this comes down to. Because this is more of like a staged town, it does give me a slight advantage, because even though they have the old Wallington police cars driving around from the 1990s, they have no authority. Maybe it's military guys and stuff like that, Colt motherfuckers, but they as far as like a police authority, they don't have that, And I remember the last time I was in New York City, the real one, a New York State trooper was like eyeing me up, and I believe it's because I was finally in the real place again, and it was probably for whatever they were framing me for, because they had multiple lookalikes. Like, the guy who replaced me doesn't look a thing like me anymore. But I guarantee you, my real family, if they saw this, I look a lot like you guys, don't I? That other guy doesn't. I can almost guarantee it. I can almost guarantee it. He's the only oddball. He's the only oddball in the family. I can almost guarantee it. The only round nose, blue-eyed, weird oddball. And See, and there's people talking shit all around me, gaslighting me. They said, oh, we killed them all already and replaced them. That's what they're trying to say. Like, I was the last one to be totally replaced. And that's because they claim, one guy claimed, oh, I made millions off of this guy. Probably for whatever they were framing me for. I believe it's a massive CT operation. Government. High level. And right now they took me out to some Asian country. It has to be somewhere around the equator and what is it, like the Tropic of Cancer or Tropic of Capricorn? Because the sun, when it rises, it seems like the light is coming from all around and it comes directly overhead. And that's why I would believe that it's like, you hear all those gunfires and shit? Bombs and shit? Sirens, bomb? You hear that shit? That's a war going on somewhere. That ain't no fireworks. Some of it's fireworks, but the big rumblings and shit, man, that's fucking bombs and shit. That's fireworks. But the very low rumblings, and that's what I mean. They made it look like the old where I used to live. That's like the old house that used to be there. That's the old house that used to be there. This house, it's just the wrong color. Our aluminum siding used to be beige, not off-white. But that's why, yeah, this is something crazy. And I believe they were doing this to me, framing me all along to get everybody in on it, so that even the good guys who try to save people like me would fall for it. That, oh yeah, it's him. He was the one trying to steal Jason Treska's identity all along. And he was the one doing all this stuff. They pull it off in that type of way. So even the ones that wanted to save me are probably participating to the point where now it seems like they sold me off to somebody else. And I'm going to have to fight for my life. No different than, let's say, like a child being targeted. Well, I was targeted by this like a child. I am one of those kids. And that's why I always had these weird memories of even my father doing weird shit, let's just say. And but I think that was them sending in lookalikes into our real home at the time. And I just remembered one guy telling me the last time I was in the city. It was, like I said, probably summer of 2025, New York City. They said, dude, it's your town and home. That's what they're staging. And they're staging your rides there. They said, the guy that replaced you, you already look nothing alike. Your family, so in other words, your family already believes he's the real you. But he actually comes from the family that is doing this initially. And he's like, he already believes he's the real you. And that's why he said, just stay in the city and don't go home. But how do you grasp that. I thought it was crazy. How do you grasp that when it's been happening since you were a toddler, moving back and forth? Somebody coming up to you and saying, hey, Jay, that's not your real mom and dad. That's not your real sister and brother. That's lookalikes. That's not your real house. They're putting you to sleep on the way home and kidnapping you every time you go further than whatever that staged area looks like. How do you grasp that? It's like it's almost like they did the whole he's a slave and prisoner, but he doesn't know it. And that's why anytime I would step out, I noticed of the realm of what would have gotten me away. So, for example, when I got